Welcome to the Masters of Travel Advisor Series. My name is John Werner. I'm the president of MAST Travel Network, a group of over 210 travel agencies with about 1,000 travel advisors, professional travel advisors scattered across the country, specializing in all kinds of travel all over the world, and particularly in cruises. And I have a guest with me today, Andrew Davis from Holland America Line. And so welcome, Andrew. And why don't you say a little bit more about yourself and your role at Holland America?
Yeah, hi, John. Thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here with you today and share a little bit more about who Holland America Line is and who I am as well. And so I'm a national and I'm the national accounts with Holland America Line. I've been working with the MAST account now for almost 2 years, and really just have developed some really great relationships with your members, and really just look forward to more deeply engaging with you all. I myself have been with Holland America Line about 8 years now, and I'm just completely enamored with the brand. I know I could, honestly, not just because I work for them, but it's just an incredible product, and just kind of really we're set a little bit different, or set apart a little bit differently than our competitors. So I'm happy to share some of that information with you today.
That's wonderful. And yeah, I am especially thrilled too to have this conversation today with you, because I know I'm also a big fan of Holland America and the kind of experience that Holland America delivers to cruise vacationers across the world. So, of course, one of the big things that Holland America is known for is Alaska. You've been sailing, the company has been sailing to Alaska. I know you're over 100 years old as a cruise brand. I don't know how many years to Alaska. I think over 80 or something.
Yeah, we're fast approaching that number. So
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, you're known as a specialist in Alaska cruising, and I wanted to point out that you definitely bring the Alaska experience on board the ships. So, and like no one else does. And you do have some unique food or culinary experiences to bring Alaska to the guests aboard the ship. So, one of the things that I know you're famous for are the Alaska brunches that you do. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about that?
yeah, I'd love to, John. So thank you. So yeah, so almost 80, we're getting close. So we're just wrapping up our 76th 776, just in case I got stuck on that one. 76th season in Alaska. So Alaska is very near and dear to our hearts. We have been taking guests there more than anyone else. And we do really, that destination is so important to us. It's very dear and near to our hearts as a company, and as our employees as well. And we do, we immerse our guests in that destination. And one of the ways that we do that is through that, like you mentioned, the Alaska brunch, where we really highlight the local flavors of Alaska and the Pacific Northwest as well, to bring that destination on board the ship and really immerse the guests from not just the smells and the taste, but also the sights and the just really bringing that destination so much more to life in front of them. And really, our brunch is really centered around our certification with Alaskan seafood, our sustainability with Alaskan seafood. So all of the not just at the brunch, but all of the fresh seafood that we're bringing on board throughout Alaska is all sustainably caught through Alaskan fisheries. We're the only cruise line with that certification. And we really want to protect the areas that we're bringing guests to up in Alaska, both on the waters and then when we get in further into Alaska through our cruise tours.
Yeah, that's great. I was looking at one of the brunch menus, and it just looks amazing and very delicious, unique, of course, and bringing shedding light on, like you said, the cuisine of Alaska and the Pacific Northwest and so forth. And you also not only have that brunch, but you bring it to the buffet, and you have a seafood boil pop-up dinner,
Yeah,
and gold
yeah,
rush dinner. There's all kinds of variations of that. And of course, you brought up the sustainability factor, and you're definitely have won some awards for that.
yeah.
So, you
It's
know,
Yeah, it's interesting to talk about like the not just the seafood, but just to give you an example, on a typical 7-day cruise with Holland America Line, we go through over 2,000 pounds of fresh Alaska salmon, 1,000 pounds of Alaska crab, and over 800 pounds of Alaska halibut. So that's just the seafood, right? We also extend that onto the shore where we're bringing fresh Alaskan berries on board for some of the desserts, and then tapping into some of the local, I guess for carnivores, the reindeer sausage, which is one of my favorite things. And really caribou reindeer. So really just adds a different flavor to an experience to your culinary adventures with us.
yeah, that's just amazing. And I also noticed that on your menus too, you talk about a glacier ice drink. And
Yes, yeah.
what's so distinctive about the flavor, the taste from glacier ice, that the reason why you're highlighting that? What's
Yeah.
distinctive about it?
Yeah, so this is something new for us this season. So personally, I have not had the opportunity to experience it yet, but I've had some colleagues that have had this opportunity. And so, first of all, I just want to point out that this is a really authentic Alaskan cocktail, number one. And number two, the ice is harvested in conjunction with state permits from the Alaskan government through a separate company that we purchased the ice from. And it's the company is actually getting the ice as it's floating. So they're not going up on the glaciers and chipping it off. It's very sustainably harvested because number one, that's the first thing we want to do. And it comes from Prince William Sound, the glaciers that are floating in that area. So the difference is this really is like the purest form of water. These are, the glaciers, that ice is completely untouched. It's been no human hands have really touched it. Animals haven't been on it. It's been there for thousands of years, and it's truly water and it's our ice in its purest form. So it allows the local Alaskan spirits that we serve with that glacier ice to really highlight, again, tying into the flavors of Alaska and that wild Alaska experience, whether it's through, we have a couple of different cocktails that we offer, including some hot cocktails, which don't necessarily have the glacier ice, but
Right.
yeah, so it's really gives them that unique experience, but very safely harvested glacier ice.
Okay. Oh, that's wonderful. And it sounds fun too. And so the you had pointed out about the hot cocktail. So it's the same thing without the ice. Is that what you mean by hot cocktails?
Similar, yeah. So, like when we're doing our scenic cruising in places like Hubbard Glacier, Tracy Arm, or Glacier Bay National Park, we actually have hot cider, hot pea, well, Dutch pea soup as well. That's our tradition, one of our other dishes that we're serving, and hot chocolate that guests can, I guess, toddy up, so to speak, by
Yeah.
adding some, flavors like Grand Marnier or other different beverages or
Mhm.
alcoholic add-ins that they'd like, that we serve on board when we're in those, outdoors scenic cruising where the weather might be a little bit more conducive for a hot drink versus a cold drink.
Yeah. Oh, neat. Very, very awesome. So let's get into some other aspects beyond the culinary experiences. Pickleball.
Yes,
So
yes.
huge. I mean, it's just like exploded in popularity overnight.
Mhm.
And so Holland America, though, has a partnership with
Yeah.
Professional Pickleball
Yeah,
Association.
so we actually, what's really awesome, we just hosted or was the sponsor of a big pickleball tournament we just had in our hometown of Seattle, Washington, just a few weeks ago. So we've always, well, for the most part, we've had pickleball on our ships, our pickleball courts, I should say. So we have added on some of our ships, we've added an additional pickleball court. So we have now 2 pickleball courts. And over the course of the next several months, you're going to see us bring those experiences much more to life, where we'll be offering kits that clients can actually purchase and take home,
Mhm.
pickleball paddles and things like that. we also have started having a, lack of a better word, but I don't remember the exact term, but we've actually have someone on board our ships now that are facilitating pickleball training, pickleball tournaments, open play with pickleball, and all the equipment's up there for guests to just participate however they want to do. So whether they're just a beginner and they want to take a lesson, or they want to go out there and really, maybe they've been playing the sport for quite a bit of time, they can then participate in some of the tournaments that we'll be doing. And this will be across all of our fleet. We're offering pickleball and pickleball courts. So we're super excited because this is one of the fastest growing sports. And, to tie it into sales and how travel advisors or group leaders may want to grow, this is a great way. Lots of clients want to stay active on vacation, and they're starting to get into this new lower impact type sport that allows them, so they can have tournaments on board our ships. They can bring, really help cultivate new to cruise guests that maybe they wouldn't consider cruising because they didn't think they could be as active on the ship.
Yeah, no, I think that's wonderful. And a lot of people do like to, when they go on vacation, they still want to try to maintain some of their routine at home in terms of, just physical activity and, keeping up with that. And so I think it's important that they are able to do that. So that's wonderful. One of the other things I wanted to get into, because I always think of Holland America as being great for multi-generational families. And I think it's, the type of thing where Holland America makes it possible for multi-gen families to do things together each day, and as opposed to everybody kind of going off and doing their own thing, and then they get together over dinner at night and then ask everybody, what did you do today? Whereas Holland America, makes it possible for families to do things together. So you do mention that you call them connections groups and celebration groups. Do you want to elaborate on what those are?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. The great thing about, first of all, the cruise industry as a whole, there's so many great brands to choose from depending on what type of experience a client wants to have. And I don't really view particularly us as really having a true competitor, because we're kind of a little bit different than what some of the other cruise lines offer. And what I mean by that is we don't offer roller coasters, go-karts, water slides. That's just not who Holland America Line is. There's other great cruise lines that deliver that experience at a much better level than we would ever be able to try to deliver that. So what we focus on is allowing guests to really have that downtime, that connection time with their family. And so we focus on really tailoring both onboard and offboard experiences so that guests can have that time to connect together, right? We create that conducive environment for it. So one of the things that travel advisors can really take advantage of is, like you mentioned, our connections group program, right? It's really designed perfectly for multi-generational families that want to travel together, and gives travel advisors some extra benefits to give to their clients to really enhance that experience, so that guests can have, the families can spend more time together, whether it's through a special dining experience or through a special shore excursion that they want to focus on for their families, or, there's just so many different ways to connect together. And we just like to create that environment and be the conductor of that environment. And we often find that, families have some of the best vacations of their lives on board a Holland America ship, because there's no distractions, right? The kids are truly present. The parents are present. There's not a lot of this device and screen staring or running off to go on a water park or what have you. So it's just, we're very fortunate to have the conduciveness of and the environment to attract these multi-generational families. And I think, that's what keeps our demographics, when you look at ages and things like that, that number just keeps going lower and lower on an average with Holland America Line, because we are attracting a lot more of those multi-generational families.
Mhm. Yeah, all great points to make. And you really have described how, Holland America fits in the marketplace, in a way, if you will, for families, so that they, can choose the right experience for them. And so I know, and as an extension of that, some of the partnerships that you have when it comes to shore excursions, you do a lot of things with National Geographic. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about, what that means for your guests?
Yeah, and so I'm happy to do that. And John, this is something new that we've kind of started. It's right now we're more focused on Europe with our partnership with National Geographic Tours. And some of the things that guests could participate in is they could do a day in the life of a marine biologist, like in, let's say, in Naples, Italy. And this is where they can visit one of the oldest aquariums in Europe, along with some of one of the museums over there, and really understand marine biodiversity and see those research library information. It's really an incredible experience, and learn more about the preservation of marine turtles and the gray sharks of some of that area, of some of the islands in that area. Another great experience would be really understanding the influential women in Turkey from the past to the present, with some of in Kudasi, Turkey, and just really taking that destination again and bringing it more to life, and really having guests really understand how important that destination is and the importance that it plays in the history of that part of the world. And we hope to expand this program to more destinations around the world. But right now, it's heavily focused on Europe and some of the Mediterranean areas, Greece, Turkey, and Italy as well.
Yeah. No, it looks like it's you're really on a great path, quite a bit different. I mean, a lot of cruise lines are trying to offer some very unique and experiences for shore excursions, but I think these take it to a different level, beyond anything else that seems to be coming out. And I think that influential women in Turkey is so unique. Definitely can be empowering for women and enlightening for men. It's just such a unique perspective of going to that part of Turkey and the archaeological sites around there as well.
Agreed. Yeah, yeah, and I'm hopefully look forward to maybe next year going on one of the journeys where we are offering these. I would love to see some of these and have some of these experiences, because personally, when I travel, I always seek out unique and different ways to really push myself further into that culture of where I'm visiting.
Right. Yeah, I have no doubt it's going to be very successful for you, and you'll, even though you're at the beginning stages of the relationship with National Geographic, I have no doubt it'll expand quite a bit. And I also noticed one of the things is the fascinating world of bees in roads, and it's just I think that was so unique. People are naturally afraid of bees, but they're so important in the ecosystem and the food chain, and so it's just going to be amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And who knew that they had a bee museum in Rhodes, Greece?
Yes.
I had no idea. So how unique and different is that? And you can even, on that experience, like you mentioned, you can even actually try your hand at beekeeping, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So just different.
No, it's going to be wonderful. Just definitely understanding cultures more, and really, I think people will come back feeling privileged to be able to do these things.
And think about how that can tie into a multi-generational trip, which is what we were just talking about. So how cool would it be to go on, in the Mediterranean with your children, and then have them, have this experience of beekeeping, so to speak, at the museum, at the bee museum in Greece. So
absolutely
really different and unique.
So, speaking of partnerships, you also have a partnership with Food and Wine magazine. So you've got these partnerships with well-known brands that stand for quality, which is, I can see why Holland America would want to be associated with them. because you stand for quality as well. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so now you're really speaking to my love language, John. I'm a huge foodie. I love to really experience new cuisines. And one of the first things I'm traveling around, first thing I'm is how can I learn about the food through the culture through the food in that destination, whether it's through a food and wine, or whether it's through a food tour or a day with the chef. So really, this partnership with magazine, it helps elevate local cuisine and take it to a different level. So, I've been on, 20 plus cruises at least, maybe more. I honestly, I don't count anymore. But, what's unique about this is there's ports around the world that you don't even realize have an incredible culinary point of view. And so with our partnership with Food and Wine Magazine, so if you think off the ship, right, this allows you to participate in a foodie tour, whether it's a food walking tour or a food cooking demonstration or a day with the chef or learning how to cook with a local chef. It really helps you learn more about the culture that maybe you didn't realize was there. Let's say, you look at some of the Caribbean islands, maybe you didn't realize that culture was ingrained into the people of that island. So it really helps you learn about the destination and the people and the history. And, food has always played an important part. And then you look at how we're bringing that experience as well on board the ship. So, we're delivering culinary cooking experiences, demonstrations in a completely different way. And this partnership with Food and Wine Magazine, which we've had for quite a long time, really has helped us elevate not just the cuisine and the way that we're offering it and delivering the experiences related around food and wine. And you talk about wine. I have to mention we also have an incredible partnership with James Suckling. So what's wonderful about the relationship, he has rated all of the wines that are on board our ships, and they all rate 90 points or better. So maybe your clients coming on board our ship, they don't have a lot of knowledge about wine. This allows them to have those elevated experiences with pairing the food and the wine and understanding that they are getting a high quality wine that's been rated by one of the world's renowned wine enthusiasts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so important. I know, when people go on vacation, they do like to try the local cuisine and they want great food experiences. And it's wonderful to see that Holland America is also bringing it to their guests in a little bit different ways than maybe other lines are bringing, the culinary experiences on board. And I think it's great for families as well. We go back to the multi-generational thing, and it's wonderful to bring the children into these experiences too, because it's very cultural. So yeah, I mean that's what you're trying to do is
we're trying to connect the world, right?
yes.
I mean, and we that's how you make the world a better place, is connecting with it on a much deeper level, I think. And and so that's what we're trying to do.
Wonderful. Well, do you besides so we've talked about Europe and we've talked about Alaska, we've really only scratched the surface really for those destinations, but what other wonderful destinations does Holland America bring families to?
Yeah, so great. We do cruise all over the world, and what's wonderful about Holland America Line is our ships are moving from season to season, basically chasing the destination for the weather, whether it be warm weather or scenic cruising weather, whatever it might be, right? So another great destination that really is, depending on how you look at it, right? So Alaska is an incredible destination. It's perfect for first-time cruisers and for first-time families traveling together on a cruise, right? Another great destination would be Norway. I mean, think about, you go from Alaska to then you go the scenic cruising of the Norwegian fjords. So you come into Amsterdam, there's lots of great experiences from a cultural standpoint in Amsterdam for multi-generational families, all the incredible museums, all the incredible artwork. And then, there's lots of outdoor activities as well. all the bicycles
Oh, yeah.
in the Netherlands, and then you go on an incredible, just scenic cruise through the Norwegian fjords where you can engage in,
Mhm.
one of the destinations, the Troll Road. Okay, so you can make it more fun with families on the Troll Road, right? I mean, it's a great shore excursion, kayaking in some of those fjords. Kids love those activities.
Mhm.
Art, big art, and young kid. So that's another great destination to really deliver. The Caribbean's a great destination for us. We have our own private island down in the Bahamas that all of our cruises stop at. And on our private island, there's a water park for children. So if parents want to have a great, have a day and let the kids play at the water park, they can do that. It's a lot of fun for them. Now, I'm going to have those big water slides like you'd see in a traditional water park, but
Sure.
it's more of an experience where kids can have fun. They can play in the water. They can go in the ocean. They can swim with the dolphins. They can do all types of beach activities, and then go through some of the other incredible Caribbean islands with us as well. Yeah, that's a great. The another great place for families with maybe younger teenagers would be the Panama Canal. You think
Oh,
about
yeah.
from an engineering point, right?
Right.
Going through the Panama Canal on a completely and unique experience versus just going in and seeing it from the shore. So that's a great another destination that you can tie in with a Caribbean cruise with your kids instead of just going to the Caribbean. There's nothing wrong with going to the Caribbean and laying on the beach. There's not those types of vacations are wonderful. There's a place for them, and we offer those different destinations. But think about it a little bit differently. Maybe add on other type destinations in addition to the beach. So
Yes.
yeah, there's some great itineraries in that area of the world as well. And then of course, Australia, New Zealand, if families want to really have a longer, more extended vacation, especially flying from the US, that those flights are a little bit longer. They might need a little bit more time off. But yeah, Australia, New Zealand is a great destination as well for that, for
Yeah.
families.
Oh, that's just so wonderful. And I think it's great that even for people who've been to some of these destinations previously, and to go back there on a Holland America cruise and just experience it all over again in a different way, and to be able to see and do things differently than they may have done, on a previous trip. So,
Right. Yeah, for sure.
so is there anything else that you would like to share with us?
Yeah,
Um,
I would just point out, we've talked about a lot about multi-generational families, and I just want to point out that, we still have an incredible kids program on board our ships. We have a dedicated kids program, but what I like to equate it to is more of like a summer camp or a some type of camp where your kids are more engaged in learning, and that's the type of programs that we offer. Yes, we do have where they can just play video games if that's what they'd like to do, but we also offer these more learning experiences as well. Alaska in particular is a great place if you have children that are in any type of scouting activity. The day that we spend in Glacier Bay, kids can actually earn their badge,
yeah,
one of their badges. And then also, if you're a national park stamp collector, the national park passports, you can actually get your passport stamped by the national park rangers the day that we're in Glacier Bay National Park. So
neat.
really kind of cool, so
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
also, we're not just focused just on, I mean, we're focused on all generations, right? We offer something for everyone. But one of the things that we've always done really well, but we've never really shared a lot of, I won't say share, but really marketed a lot about it, is our legendary voyages. And these are cruises that range anywhere from 22 to 57 days, a little bit longer than that in length, that really take guests to some really unique ports of call around the world. And guests can go round trip from the United States and North
Yeah.
America, basically. And it really allows them to have these really unique, different itineraries, stay longer in destinations. We've always had these itineraries, but we've never really sold them in or promoted them in this way. So that's something new we're doing. The other thing that we're doing now is we're starting to, for travel advisors that really are focusing on building their base business further out, we're opening product trades sooner. So right now we've just opened last week Europe 2025. So we have 3 seasons of Europe, 3 seasons of Alaska open at the same time. And when we do that, we're offering these really what we call early booking bonuses that are out there for your clients. Take advantage of these extra added amenities, but also get a best price guarantee. So that encourages them to book earlier. They get more amenities, and then they have a guarantee that if whatever reason the price goes down, they're protected.
Yeah, that's
So,
very smart. I think that's wonderful, that your guests can take advantage of that, book early and feel confident that they're,
mhm.
getting a great value.
Right.
I also like the those longer cruises and when people think about it, see the world, but you leave from a U.S. port, return to a U.S. port. You don't have a long flight. You
Mhm.
don't have a higher airfare. It's really, it's a great way to see the world as well.
Yeah, and we're offering, we're starting to announce more and more unique itineraries. In 2025, we're offering that grand world voyage pole to pole, 133 days. I mean,
Wow.
probably one of our longest voyages ever. Very unique. I don't know. I've not, at least in the last 10 years, I've not heard of a cruise line offering a pole to
Mm-mm.
pole voyage. So really unique itinerary. So
Yeah.
that we're doing lots of new itineraries that are focused on the eclipses that are coming up.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then also there's this really unique 24-day in Alaska that goes up to the Arctic Circle and back. So that's
Oh,
some
wow.
really unique itineraries that we're really focused on creating for your clients to have unique,
Mhm.
different experiences that no one else can take them to.
Yeah. Oh, that would be a great cruise for somebody who says, "Well, I've already been to Alaska."
Yeah. I've asked, could I like have the month off and go and test
Right.
the itinerary, but I have been declined.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, Andrew, I really appreciate your time. It's been great and enlightening. And thank you so much. And you know, um, good things to come from Holland America in the
John,
future.
yeah, John, and I just have to tell you, thank you so much for inviting me to join you today. I've had a great time, and every chance I have the opportunity to share conversations like this, it just reminds me how much I love this brand and the destinations that we visit around the world. And I just want to say I appreciate the continued partnership. We're grateful for everything that you and the MAST members do for us, and we look forward to great things in coming in 2024.
So great. Thank you. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
You too, John. Thank you.